Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Matt and I like video games. And in today's video I'm going to be going over the PlayStation 5 event from yesterday, so stay tuned. Okay, first things first, I want to say that I'm excited for PlayStation 5. And it is not my intention to bash Sony in any way, shape, or form with this video. I'm simply going to be talking about the things that I found to be good and not so good from the event. So let's get started. I want to start by saying that I found it incredibly strange that Sony started the show with Grand Theft Auto 5, only to turn around and show Spider-Man Miles Morales immediately afterwards. Now, I don't know about you folks, but it's clear to me at least that only one of those should have been the starter for the show. And the obvious choice should have been Spider-Man Miles Morales. And don't get me wrong, I love Grand Theft Auto 5. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But at this point, I've already played through it like 10 or 15 times. I just thought it was ridiculous for Sony to start the show with Grand Theft Auto 5 when they had a much better announcement to make immediately afterwards. I mean, at this point, this will be the third generation of consoles that Grand Theft Auto 5 is on. And for me, if I was showing off my brand new next generation console, I wouldn't pick a game that came out in 2013 to do it. Especially if I had a brand new, much more highly anticipated exclusive title like Spider-Man to show afterwards. But they did announce some exclusive content for GTA 5 for the PlayStation 5. They announced that GTA Online will be free for the PS5 for all PlayStation Plus subscribers. And this is definitely pretty cool, especially if you're into the whole GTA Online thing. They also announced, I think, 1 million in GTA Online money every month until the release of the PS5. So there is some pretty cool stuff in there for PlayStation guys when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 5. But on to the bigger announcement they showed, which is Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, I love Spider-Man PS4, and my favorite character from Spider-Man for PS4 was by far Miles Morales. So it's pretty much a given that I am hyped for this game. Now today there seems to be some confusion on whether or not it's a standalone game or standalone DLC, much like Uncharted Lost Legacy was to Uncharted 4. Either way, I don't really care. As long as I get to play as Miles Morales, I'm a happy guy. Up next, they announced Gran Turismo 7. And as somebody who grew up loving the Gran Turismo series on PS1 and PS2, I gotta say a little part of me got kind of excited and nostalgic for this. Now, that being said, seeing what Gran Turismo has become over the past 10 or so years, I know better than to get my hopes up for Gran Turismo nowadays. Nothing in the trailer really jumped out at me other than the ray tracing. It looked like there was some ray tracing in there on the cars and the lighting, but it looks like a solid enough racing sim, and I don't really have much more to say about it after that. And moving on to the third PlayStation exclusive that they announced is a new Ratchet & Clank. Now, I never really played these games growing up, so it's kind of hard for me to speak about them, but it does look intriguing, and this is one of those times I really wish that Sony would do day and date for PS Now, because I'd be willing to bet that there's a lot of people like me who have never experienced Ratchet & Clank, but they like the way that the trailer looks, and they might still be on the fence about spending a full $60 on the game when there's a possibility that they might not enjoy it. And this wouldn't bother me so much if PlayStation's digital return policy wasn't so atrociously bad. But all that aside, I am stoked that they actually showed real gameplay. And this is something that Microsoft clearly needs to take notes on. I mean, I love me some Microsoft, but man, that May show was a dud as far as actual gameplay is concerned. All in all, I think the game looks cool, but I might wait to pick it up on sale or something like that, because I don't really know if I want to spend the full $60 on it yet. They also showed a few third-party exclusives at the event, much like Xbox showed some third-party exclusives at their May event. The two that they showed that I'm most excited for is Project Athia and Kena the Bridge of Spirits. I hope I'm saying that right, Kena or Kana, I'm not sure. But Kena looks sort of like a Pixar Horizon Zero Dawn, but without the giant mechanical monsters. And I'm not entirely sure what Project Athia is, but it looks phenomenal. And it looks like a game that could potentially leverage that PS5 SSD with its fast traversal. And they also showed a game called Stray, in which you play as a cat. I'm not even joking, you play as a cat. They can sign me up for that immediately. I would love to play as a cat, and I'm not even joking. One thing that I do find intriguing is that the narrative used against Xbox is that they always show quote-unquote cartoony games, which, by the way, is a phrase I hate so much because people use it as if it affects the core gameplay and experience of a game. I mean, technically Ori is a cartoony game, but there's nothing cartoony about that game's story. But this is something that is commonly said about Xbox, yet Sony showed a ton of these quote-unquote cartoony games, and I hear nothing but crickets from these fanboys. And this is why I will always say it's important to judge games on the experience they give you, not on their art style. There's plenty of fun games with a cartoonish art style. At the end of the day, just play what you enjoy. But that's the end of my rant on that. Next up, they also announced a Demon's Souls remake. Now, again, this is one of those games I can't really speak on, because I've never been into that Demon's Souls, Dark Souls kind of gameplay. They also announced a new Resident Evil, which I can't really speak on either, because I've never really been into the Resident Evil games. However, I can totally appreciate that both of these games are really popular, and a lot of people are excited for them. And I think that's fantastic, and it's a great thing to see. And the big finale for the games announcements was an announcement of the second installation for the Horizon Zero Dawn series, Horizon Forbidden West. Now, I'm extremely hyped for this game. I mean, I love the first game so damn much, and Aloy is one of my favorite video game characters from this past generation. Which is kind of funny for me to say, because for about a little less than half of the first game, I didn't really care for Aloy at all, but by the end of that game, I was fully invested in her character growth and development. And Horizon 2 was looking extremely promising, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And for the finale, Sony decided to wrap the show by finally unveiling the design for the PS5. And man, if I'm being honest, I am 100% disappointed by this design. Like, I don't know what I expected, but it definitely wasn't this. I mean, I see a lot of people on Twitter who like the design, and you know, that's cool and everything, but it's a big swing and a miss for me. That being said, it's not all bad. Sony also announced a second SKU of PS5 called the PS5 All Digital. This keeps the same design as the normal PS5, but it's a little less bulky due to not having a disc drive, obviously. And I gotta be honest, it looks like that's the PS5 I'll be getting. I don't really use discs on my Xbox or PlayStation as it is already, so I don't really need a disc drive. And if I want to watch 4K Blu-rays, then I always have my Series X or my One X. But all in all, I think this was a damn solid show for Sony. I mean, I think it started weird with the whole Grand Theft Auto 5 presentation. Other than that, I enjoyed enough of what I saw to feel like I didn't waste any of my time watching. They showed enough of the first party and the third party exclusives to get people hyped for the PS5. Now all we gotta do is wait for July for Xbox to show their hand. I also think that Sony having two options for the PS5 puts Microsoft in an interesting spot with their Series X and the rumored Series S. I think that this opens up a genuine possibility for Microsoft to undercut the PS5 price with the Series X. And if the Series S specs and all of these rumors are right, then you know it's going to undercut the PS5 digital price. But what do you guys think? Did you enjoy the Sony show? If so, what was your favorite game that was shown? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you liked the video, and please subscribe if you would be so kind. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.